Hello, hello! It's Naveen with Naveen's Cuisine. Hopefully, you had a wonderful Valentine's and did whatever the heck do you want to do, picnic, partying, dinner for two, picnic for two, whatever it was. I hope it was great. Today, I am about to make risotto. And the word risotto in Italian means the little rice. And it's a very flirtatious name, kind of like we call Manuel, Manuelito, Povercito, Tititito, all these kind of things. Risotto is a flirtatious word for small rice. And risotto comes from northern Italy, and that's where they grow their short grain rice. There's different names for them, but one of them is very popular, and it's arborio. Arborio rice is the most popular and the most available here in the US. It's a short grain rice and it's very starchy and it absorbs a lot of water to cook versus the long grain rice like basmati or any other rice. It does not take long to cook and it needs to be separated. So arborio rice is perfect for risotto, which is supposed to be a little sticky, a little starchy, and a little overcooked. Anyway, so let's get cooking. So first thing, you pick a pan that's kind of it's got a heavy bottom, so the risotto does not stick, and it's not advisable to use a skillet because the skillet is wide and it will evaporate all the fluids out before it's even cooked. And the best way to do is half and half olive oil and butter. So right now I have 4 tablespoons of butter and 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're using 1 cup of arborio rice. Depending on how much you like it, it could be for 1 or for 2 people generously. I'm also using shrimp, the deveined and the tail off. I am using also half a cup of peas and I'm letting it thaw a bit. And for every cup of risotto, you're using 4 cups of fluid. And that could be mainly stock, and you can use any stock you like, vegetarian, seafood, or chicken. I love chicken, the base of the chicken broth. So here we have 5 cloves of garlic chopped up and about a 1/3 cup of onion also chopped up. And we're gonna saute it a little bit until it's translucent. So it's 1 cup of rice to 4 cups of fluid. And if you want to add wine to the end, then you take a little bit out of the stock and replacing it with white wine, which is what I'm about to do. So I'm basically going to use 3 cups of stock and 1 cup of white wine to make the 4 cups fluid total. We're also using salt and pepper. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup parmesan towards the end and half a cup of cream or half and half towards the end. I got also some spinach and bella mushroom sliced up. The thing about risotto, it takes a long time to cook and you have to be right there, constantly stirring it, adding a little bit of fluid, stir, so on until it's absorbed. Then you add some more until all the fluid is absorbed, and then you start throwing in the vegetables and whatever meat you want to use, or seafood, in and stir until it's all cooked. You don't cook it up front, you cook it inside the risotto while it's cooking. Beautiful fragrance. You can use vegetarian risotto, you can use seafood, chicken, beef, pork, whatever you like. So right now the garlic and the onion is nice and golden. I'm gonna slowly add in the arborio rice. Give it a nice stir when everything is mixed. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of the stock until the first batch is absorbed. It's a meal that you have to dedicate time for because you're standing right by it. You cannot desert it. And again, once the fluid is absorbed, then you're gonna add some more. Put it on kind of medium heat. Then we're gonna add a little bit more, and so forth until on my end here 3 cups of the broth are all in, and then I'm gonna add the 1 cup of wine in. Well, like I said, this kind of rice is not the kind of rice you add water to and put a lid on and let it cook on low heat. You have to be standing by it at all times, stirring and adding your fluids. See, it looks almost there. And it should be a little sticky and starchy, but also has a nice little crunch, nutty taste to it. So when it's cooked, you can still feel the crunchiness. And of course, there's so many ways of making risotto. It could be plain with just parmesan, or it could be a seafood, octopus, scallops, shrimp, fish. It could be with chicken, pork, bacon, any kind of vegetable. It could be all vegetarian. Get creative with that. You could put in some butternut squash that's been shredded and partially cooked. And now this is the last part of the stock. I'm gonna add that in there. Once it's all absorbed, I will drop my vegetables and wine and the last finishes. While the risotto is absorbing its last fluids, I'm gonna drop in the shrimp because that will be the ingredient that will take most time to cook. So you're just dropping it in there, you're gonna stir it, and then slowly start adding everything else in there. I'm gonna give it a nice stir. You don't want it overcooking, of course. See, it's already cooking. Shrimp cooks very fast. Once this is all in there, so basically that's the last stage. I can start also throwing in my half cup thawed peas. You can use frozen, thawed out, or fresh if you're into that. But the fresh will take a little longer to cook. Again, you're just gonna stir it around. Already put some cracked black pepper. I will add my half cup sliced spinach. If you have basil, that would be wonderful too to add it. But I do not have basil. I need to start planting my herbs in March. This is when I always do. So we got the risotto, the rice, we got the shrimp, we got spinach, peas, mushroom. Looks fabulous already, huh? Look at that. Yum yum risotto cooking. So now it looks all nice cooked, coming along. I will add about a third cup of cream. Stir it up. Ooh, it's coming all nice and creamy now. Then I will add about a handful, or let's say half a cup of parmesan, shredded, powder, or grated, is fine. Wonderful. I'm gonna turn the heat off now and let it sit for a while, and it kind of gets thicker, of course, as it sits. All the starch gets together, and it takes about 20 to 30 minutes of continuous cooking and stirring, depending on the amount, of course. The more, that's going to be more time. And buon appetito! Risotto from Italia, North Italia.